Um, I'm going to admit one more person. I think Jayashri has joined in. All right. Okay. Okay. So if we are starting it formally now, so I can say again, now it's good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Aman Sharma. I am part of EY from last 6 years. I've got 16 years of corporate experience working with firms like IBM, Ericsson as a telecom transformation project manager. Here in EY, I'm working as a strategic consultant for project and program management. Did my formal training in design thinking, I think 3 years ago. Jyoti was also there, but she has got the concepts from her previous organizations as well. So this was new to me 3 years ago. But when I started actually dig deeper, would find out that this concept of design thinking is helping me in my projects, in my other work that I'm doing, and of course it is helping me to there are phases in design thinking, but technically it has helped me to understand the problem a little better, right? And of course empathize with the customers that we work with in day out. You guys, of course, are actual innovators. You're actually in the market with the real customer, facing the real time problem. We do it virtually, right? On PPTs, Excel, and in workshops. So you face that more than what we do, right? And you are more closer to the real life scenarios. So we will, the topic that was given to me was like sharpen your problem pitch. Um, but to sharpen your problem pitch, one is to you need to identify your problem, right? First, that and I've gone through the list of profiles in the Excel sheet that was shared with me for all the women innovators, around 30 odd. Mostly what I see, the problem area was reaching out to the customer, right? Of course there are different industries that you come from, like leather, textile, food, gems, of course is there, beauty, cosmetics, handicrafts. But the problem that I've majorly seen is, apart from mentorship, is access to market, right? That's your major problem that I see. Because of COVID, some things would have hit, and your business would have taken a hit, right? If this is a corporate scenario, we would have probably a team to work on it, find out the root cause analysis, work on how we can, what other customers are doing. Because, of course, we have the resources, we have the means, and we have the people to do it, right? While you run your business on your own, I think you have to, probably be more on a human-centered approach. You see it on the line there, right? Using design thinking, the human-centered approach to problem solving, right? Before I begin, I would like Jyoti also to introduce herself. She's sharing the slides as well. Jyoti, over to you.
Thanks, Aman. Hello, everyone. So, as Aman already introduced me, my name is Jyoti Bhaumik, and I'm part of his team. In total, about 17 plus years of experience, work experience, and have been really into design thinking for last 8 years or so. I really, anything that we do in terms of our team, it's really bringing in the concept of keeping user at the center, the human-centered bit to solve any problem. That's primarily it. So, I mean, are we good to start the session?
Yes, maybe you want to take the lead and walk them through
Sure.
the first. Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. All right. So before we even start, I just wanted to gauge, and maybe you all can use the hand raise option on Teams to see if you all have heard about design thinking in some way or so. If you can just raise your hand using the reaction button on Teams. Okay. So we got one. Okay. We got few, I think. Cool. All right. So that is awesome. Amazing. So what we'll do is we'll really quickly start off with really couple of industry-wide, examples that are there on design thinking. So I'm going to start the video and put on the audio as well. If you all can indicate that you hear the audio as well. So I'm just
Sure,
going
do that.
full
I'll tell you.
screen.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Doug Dietz. I'm the principal
Yeah, I
designer
can
for
tell.
global design at GE Healthcare, and I'm the lead designer for Adventure Series. The Adventure Series is really an activity that we've been working on to see what can we do around our diagnostic imaging equipment to make it friendlier for both the family and for young patients. We have large diagnostic imaging equipment at GE Healthcare. They're huge, and some of them make noises. Adventure Series is really looking at it really from the child's perspective, looking at where their anxiety points are and coming up with some really nice solutions that help those, whether those are visually taking over the room in a theme, like a jungle theme or a pirate adventure or something, as well as music that leads them into the room and coloring books. So we wanted to have elements that addressed all the anxiety points.
My name's Liz Auer.
I'm Duncan Auer.
Where is this? Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. Well, we're here today for a CT scan of Duncan's sinuses. He's had some really chronic congestion and coughing. So we're going to have a look and see what's going on in there. And the pirate room was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. The room was painted completely like a pirate setup, including the floor. The floor was like the dock with the water on the sides, and animals and things on the walls. And the CT scanner itself was like the wheel of a pirate ship. It's for a child, it can be kind of scary. You see things that make noise and they look very institutional. And this is, you're not even really thinking about the fact that you're doing a procedure. Very, very welcoming, very whimsical and fun.
All right. So if I may kind of, ask in the sense that for us to have this as an interactive session, anything that you could see standing out from this video, just feel free to unmute yourself, or if you want to put it on the chat. What is it that you feel is a key takeaway from this video? I think, Chandni, you raised your hand. Yeah, go ahead, please.
The most important thing is that they have customized it to suit their target audience, which is children. And yes, MRIs can be very, very frightening even for adults. So based on the child's interest, they are using particular rooms to allay those fears and those apprehensions that a child may have, because going into an MRI machine itself is very scary. So GE is one of the companies that is known for having a customer centric approach. Having worked with them for about 3.5 years, that's something I have seen very closely with them. So that's one very important thing. From that perspective, it's also reflects high emotional intelligence on the part of the company, which is key to design thinking.
Awesome. Great. That's really the key
And
takeaway. Yeah.
Just a second, right, Chandni, have you decided the name of the cafe?
Well, I want to call it Pagalpan 2102, and there are many, many reasons behind that.
Okay.
It's
Maybe we will discuss it in your cafe, right? Whenever
absolutely
it's there,
sure.
right? All right,
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, over to you, Jyoti, again.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to share anything in terms of what did you get from this video? Anything that you could relate to?
Yeah, apart from being innovative, right? As Chandni
Yes.
said, anything that you other than that you've picked up from the video, and you can unmute yourself, right? Keep it
Yeah.
unmuted, right? It is a free flowing session. It's not that you'll have question answers at the end. You can stop us and ask why is it happening, right? So feel free to unmute yourself, and we are used to the background noises now in last
Don't
2 years.
worry about it.
So don't worry about it. I have got a 2 months daughter lying next to me, so and her mom is at hospital, so don't worry about it. So if you hear her crying, I will not unmute myself.
Well,
Keep yourself
you might
unmuted,
hear 3 dogs barking at one time,
which is
so
absolutely
please
okay.
excuse that too.
Yeah, which is absolutely okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any other thought? Manmeet, I see your hand raised. Yes. Unmute yourself first. Yeah.
Yeah, I've unmuted. Yeah, so what really stood out for me was there was nothing, no anxiety involved at all from the child's point of view. He was so comfortable walking into that, that area and that huge machine being taken inside. It can be very, very scary,
Daunting.
as an individual. So that is something that really stood out for me, that there was zero anxiety that any, repulsion towards going there or, not don't want to do it. So that was really commendable. That stood out for me.
So innovation, user experience. It's really the key is keeping the client, the stakeholder, the user at the core of really the problem solving.
Yes.
Now, anything else from anyone? Otherwise, we got another video just to have a quick look at that. No? Upasana, you want to say something?
I think I think
Yeah, go
everything
ahead.
is included, and everybody spoke about innovation and everything. Me having a small child, 3.5-year-old, what I like the best part about them was that the visual effect. Children don't understand innovation. Children don't understand anything. All they understand is visual effect and the emotional quotient that involves in making them understand, and the warmth that you give them when they walk into the hospital or in any area where that machine was kept. The visual effect that was given to that MRI machine itself made that child comfortable to lie down on that and just go through the process. So visual effect is very important.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Amazing. So, with that being said, I'm just going to play another video. Let me know if you all see that as well. And here as well, yeah?
Yeah,
Millions of women
yeah.
across rural India suffer from life-threatening diseases. Most of these cases are linked to an iodine deficiency. Supplements exist, but women couldn't afford any. So how do you help them? Almost every Indian woman wears a bindi. Introducing the life-saving dot, Jeevan Bindi, an idea that transformed bindis into iodine patches. Women require a daily dosage of iodine. During the day, these bindis dispense that amount to the wearer. These life-saving dots were distributed through medical camps across rural India. In a nation of 500 million women, bindis were no longer just a symbol of beauty. They now spelt the difference between life and death. The life-saving dot, Jeevan Bindi.
Let me tell you about this amazing opportunity.
So, with that being said, any key takeaways from this video? Anybody wants to share? Again, please unmute yourself and just speak up. Let's keep the interaction going on. Yes, go ahead, Chandni.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Vanita. The takeaway is that the product is so user friendly. The product which they have made is so user friendly. They can daily life they can incorporate it, and I think the cost of the product is also very less, so that everybody can afford it. So user application was very easy, as well as the cost was less.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
brilliant.
Vanita. Yeah.
Tani, you have your hand raised.
They did need to really teach them about the product, which is the first thing. They eliminated that problem because a lot of them could be from not having studied. They would not have the knowledge to understand what a product could do for them from an iodine perspective or whatever. So, and also the fact that bindis are a part of their daily, not even makeup, I would say it would be part of their daily routine. So before they do anything else, the bindi goes on, as soon as they've had their bath or whatever, and they're going about it through the day. For them, the bindi is not just a makeup, it also signifies their spouse. So it's so important to them. So connecting something so life-saving with that is probably one of the simplest, but one of the most groundbreaking ideas. um, I actually had my mouth wide open. I couldn't believe that something as simple as that could, work so well.
Uh, I'll come back to you on this point for sure. We've got one more hand raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it was so heartwarming to see that video because there were only smiles on their faces in spite of saying that it is a health concern initiative. And, the women were so, overjoyed with the fact that they were distributing bindis with different kinds of colors. And they were also, overwhelmed to, decorate themselves with that kind of, their attire and things like that. So, commendable innovation.
Exactly. Anyone else has any thought, right? Sonika, you were trying to unmute yourself, or anyone? Okay. So when you said Chandni, your mouth was wide open and you couldn't imagine that as simple solution as it could be. While we could have been thinking about, giving drops like polio, right? Running a campaign where you have to pitch in Amitabh Bachchan and get it done, which would have been a very costly affair. They found out a very simple solution. And this is where design thinking can help you, right? Finding the best possible solution in a manner where you actually look at the focus on the problem and come out for a solution. Jyoti, you want to talk about it now?
Yeah. So as you all actually picked up different set of words, the key to it you all actually pointed out is the user. As Chadi, you mentioned that they didn't need to be told about what this problem was, because the solution was designed in a way that it was very comfortable for them to use. So it was all about keeping the user at the center of the problem, understanding their perspective, and then being innovative to really bring a solution which can be as simple as a bindi to really solve that big problem. So that's what design thinking is. And I feel you all, as innovators, have actually been into it. You all have been launching your products and then prototyping it and then continuing to evolve. So, I'm not sure if you actually realize that you were actually leveraging design thinking in different ways through your different, in your different phases of your services or the businesses that you all are running. So it's all about that human centered element, the creative mindset, and it all comes with when you are bringing in groups of people. So collaboration. So not just your customers, it's also the employees. So what are they feeling? How are they thinking about a product? What are the innovations? So when you collaborate, when you bring different minds together, that's when the magic happens, right? And then obviously innovation is really the key. So when you bring all these components together, that's where the whole piece of design thinking comes in, which is more of a structured way to solve the problem. And there's a very famous saying that if I have 1 hour, I spend 59 minutes in actually understanding the problem. And in 1 minute's time, you can find the solution. So it's more about getting into what is the problem, deep diving, using different structures that are there to really get to the key with user at the center, and then the ideation and the whole bit of innovation can come in as well. So that's really the key. And I'm sharing my slide. As Aman mentioned, we've got the Hindi translation as well, just in case we need it for the anyone in this group. But yeah, I'll pause here, but then I really would like to see us talking through it, because I'm here to learn from you all as well, because you all are the actual real life innovators. So do you relate to this? Is there some example from your experience that you want to share with the group, and let's all inspire each other?
Yeah, Chandni, you've raised your hand. I think I saw you first, so maybe go ahead, and then Vanita as well. Yeah.
Okay, so interestingly, I am at passion stage. I don't have a business as compared to the wonderful ladies in the cohort. I am yet to set up my restaurant. So that's one of it. The reason I am so convinced that it's going to be a success is, apart from the many personal factors, is the fact that I have solid discipline in terms of a corporate background, and I am also an emotional intelligence coach. So all of this completely ties in with what I have done in the past and currently, and will definitely be using it when I set up the restaurant. So all of this is going to be extremely important to ensure that those who walk into the restaurant will feel like a place they want to come back to again and again.
And that's a lovely thought, right? And the next slide, whenever we go there, right, will give you like 4 or 5 steps, because you've not started yet, right? So you can probably go through these phases and understand how you can build a prototype, and at least, and of course, that's not a recipe for success for sure, but that's a recipe that at least you can be a human centered approach. You can follow a human centered approach and get the best out of your abilities and cater to your customers. Second hand I see is Vanita.
So, thank you. I am just coming from the meeting with the farmer. I am developing the next product, wherein I wanted to help this stubble burning issue. We wanted to convert it into compost. So, I think this thing, when I am talking to these customers, I am getting to know how application can help. Like this Bindi case, which is very user friendly. Those kind of application these farmers are looking, although they also don't want to burn the stubble. But that is where the challenge is, and we really need to have very creative kind of application of whatever we have created. So, so I think this session will help me more to make my product applicable for these farmers.
And my apologies, this is Dr. Vanita, right? I I just
Yeah.
got to know that
No, no.
Ravi. It's okay. And this,
Yeah.
as in the beginning, I've said that this 1 hour session would not justify um, what we can do with design thinking. We're just giving you the tool or the approach. We will tell you where you can find the sources, but in case you have questions, you can always reach or circle back to us via Women Innovator or directly via LinkedIn, right? I think Women Innovator would have posted my LinkedIn profile as well. If not, then probably reach search for me and then connect, and we can talk more about it. We'll do that, right, Sonika? We'll share the Bindi video on the cohort. Don't worry about it. Okay. Any other thoughts? Or any other problem that you see in your business, right? And we can, of course, maybe try and dissect into it using design thinking. Yeah, Aman, you've unmuted yourself. You want to say? Okay. Anyone, right? That you're facing because it is to sharpen your problem pitch. So first thing is you have to identify your problem, right? And that we can probably do or dissect it here if you want.
Hello,
Yeah, yeah,
we are the manufacturers of leather products, leather
yeah,
belts, wallets, and we
yeah.
are working for the last more than 20 years. We were working offline and now I want to join the online business.
Okay,
I don't know how to sell on online and how to explore that market. I am working
okay.
on e-marketplaces, but I am unable to find my niche market because I'm having a variety of products and it is an essential accessory for everyone, for girls or for boys or for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Unable to find a niche, unable to increase my sales.
Uh-huh.
I'm unable to find a path on which I have to move so that I can achieve that success that I am looking for. I am having a product, I am having an infrastructure, but unable to reach the customer.
And I believe it is urbanity, right? If I'm not wrong, or I
Yeah.
recall, right? That's
Yes.
your brand. Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. And don't call me sir. My name is also Aman. We share the common name, but and this is a real life problem now, right? And within EY, we also have certain kind of problems that we pitch our services to a client, and there is a competitor as well who is pitching. So, what we can do right here. There are a couple of things that you can do. Of course, we'll probably move on to the next slide and find out what are the phases. Jyoti, you want to step onto the yeah. So you see this is an end-to-end design thinking process, right? You can Google it, you'll find it, right? These are widely available slides. You don't have to write anything down. Just Google it, and I'm sure you're all smart women to Google it. But where is the problem, right? That is what you're not able to understand, Aman, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and in this, like in half an hour, I don't think we will probably come to a solution. However, we can, probably tell you how these four. I think the main agenda for this session was majorly to empathize and define, right, Jyoti? If I'm not,
Yes,
uh,
yeah. So the
yeah,
defining the problem pitch. So I think it's all about getting into the user's shoes, and it can be in varied format. Like, us also, we do a lot of surveys. We interview our, clients. We sit down with them and understand without being judgmental. That's really the key. So for me, I think, certain things can be different, which is really very important for Aman. So it's really understanding what the user ask is, and without being judgmental is really the key to design a product or customize the product as per the user requirement. So we always say every feedback is good feedback, even if it's negative. So there's always room for improvement. So going with that sentiment and plus empathizing with the users is really the key, because if you see here, right, the whole bit, we say that we are widening the problem space, so that basically are talking to your stakeholders, your clients, your repeat clients in different formats. As I mentioned, it can be survey, it can be interview, it can be through email, having that conversation to understand what is the ask and how I cater, so that I can have a niche market where you are literally catering to your stakeholders problem, how you are customizing. It can be a different format. So first, getting into the root cause of what is it that I need to develop is really key. So the first two phases that you see here, empathize and define, it's really where you are getting a lot of information, and then you're narrowing down with focus that what do you want to prioritize at this point of time. Something which is a priority for me at this point of time, given all the environmental conditions, and there can be various factors, personal, professional, and everything. What is important for me now may not be important for me in next quarter. So
Yeah.
it's really widening up, understanding what is the problem, and then narrowing down and picking up what is the priority at this point of time. And don't lose out on the other problem statements. We are not saying that you lose out on those. They can be after 6 months of time more relevant. So before COVID, online was like, okay, chalta hai, it's all working fine and all. But then with COVID, it became a priority that nay, we'll have to go online because that's how it's going to work. And now
And
with things coming back
one more
to,
point.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your sentence, Jyoti.
yeah.
Sorry.
And now with things coming back to really not normal, but still it's a hybrid mode that we are moving into. So that's why it's very important, first understand the user's problems, then you prioritize what you want to focus on, and then the whole bit of innovation, use those for ideation and come back with solutions. So again, in terms of this diagram to explain, these are the phases typically, and again, it's not necessary that you have to go all through these phases. And you see the circles going round and round, so you can continue to emphasize as much as you need to and then move on to define, but you can always come back to empathize as well. So as you're defining the problem or prioritizing what you want to focus on, if you feel like no, I need to go back to the user and validate some things more, feel free to do so. So this is really, that's how the cycle goes. And ideation also, you see that it's a circle arrows there. So you continue to ideate, you prototype, which you all are really, I'm sure you all, most of you all, if not all, have done the prototyping, and then you're testing, and then you continue to build upon it. So this is where you start off with a problem, and as you go through the process, it's really you get to the action of it. So I'll pause
One
here.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Aman, I relate to the problem that you've shared, right? And most of the business would have that problem. That
Right.
one, of course, this is a ever-changing world, and the ever-changing world requirements, right? Today, one kind of leather product would be in market, and tomorrow it could be out of the market. And same for any other product that we are doing, right? Someday we drink tea, someday we drink coffee. So it's like you have to create a balance in between. However, when we say empathize is a very strong word, right? You just don't ask people for the heck of asking, right? You just don't say, oh, did you like my belt that I've produced for leather? You actually put your feelings into it and go for us. How many times you've actually got a bulk order and you followed back, right? In terms of after 6 months, that is there any complaint? Have you done that, right? Are you
Yeah,
doing it?
for the offline we have done. We are doing.
Yeah.
We are.
Now because you're moving online, right? You have to either create a survey or a digital marketing campaign or a banner, or probably just a click button that do you like me or do you like my product, something like that, right? And it's all about digital marketing, right? That's another, I guess that's another chapter, and somebody will take a session on it. If not, you can ping me separately, and I can connect you with the right set of people who can help you on that, right? All of you, of course, right? I know quite a few people who are very, very good in that, but they will also go back to empathizing, That's a design thinking phase. I'm not propagating digital marketing, but design thinking. The idea is how much you empathize with your customer. Once you do that or start doing that, right? I'll tell you a very good example of Maruti, right? I think the first car most of the people who owned in India was Maruti, unless of course you come from super rich families, right, and have a Toyota or a CLO. But Maruti was a brand that was everywhere in the home, right? However, new market was captured by people who are coming from outside, giving better products, giving better features, good looks, right, in the car. And Maruti was losing the market, right? So what they did is they brought another factor into it, which was, I think, a premium car segment or a premium service segment called Nexa, right? And they got Baleno into the system. That was the highest selling car 7 years ago. If you look at the market, they captured like almost every car on the road was Baleno because they changed the look, they changed the service model of it, right? They did not change anything in their production. The production plant was same. Now Toyota is buying Baleno and selling it as Glanza right from them. So why did this happen? Toyota has a brand tagline called Beyond Perfection. So why would Toyota has to go to a Maruti and get their car and sell it by rebranding it? Of course, there were some additional features or maybe security features added. Why? Because Maruti started to empathize with the customer. The moment you go for a service in a Maruti service station, you will get a text that your car has been here. They will create a WhatsApp group with the service agent and the supervisor and everything. You get feedback that your car is ready, or probably this is your bill, this is the discount that you'll get. They started offering pickup and drop services. So everything is revamped for Maruti, right? Otherwise, they were just out of picture, right? Selling Omnis or 800s or Zens, right? No big car was now Vitara and other Brezzas were getting sold, right? So this is one example, and I think there will be 1,000 examples similar to that where we have empathized with the customer because we were not getting the premium feeling, right? The moment they've started actually caring about, they did not change anything. Honestly, they did not. They only changed the way they approach their customer. They've started sending SMS, follow text. The moment my car insurance is getting over, they will start sending reminders that my car insurance. I know there are a lot of people who do it, but if you're planning to go online, this is the way that you do it. Yeah, we've one more hand raised. Yes, go ahead. I think that was mine, but somebody raised it and dropped it, I believe.
Thank you for the valuable comments. It was really
No
helpful.
problem. Yes, Nidhi. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Nidhi, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Aman.
Yeah.
I'm into homemade spices, and as we have seen that there is a one major factor in design thinking, creative mind. Like I do produce products season wise. Like I made aam panna during the summers and kanji during Holi festival. In that way, I'm getting the business. Otherwise, with my regular masalas, I'm not getting the such kind of business. So what should be the strategy? Like now during Diwali time, I made dates laddu, so I got good business. But I want that I would get regular business for my masalas.
That's a very it's kind of a difficult question for me because I don't come from a product industry. However, it is again. Sorry, somebody has an answer to that, or we've raised a hand. Okay, I see a few hands raised. It's. I think it's like again asking your customers back that if they like your product at a specific time, maybe Ampanna, would they want to continue it in other seasons? Like, of course, not seasons, but what else do they want in other seasons, right? And you focus on those. Why not create a niche market? Have you heard of Meerut Shikanji? All of you,
Uh,
somebody?
I'm born and brought up in Meerut
Yeah.
only.
So then, of course, I don't have to tell you about it, right? They don't
Yeah,
sell anything else. But the Shikanji is
yeah.
sold in December as well. So it's not that, during summers only people will have it. There is summer somewhere in some part of the world, right? In
Mm-hmm.
maybe if you go to Kerala, the temperature would be different, right? So why not we target our audience? If we are very good in that product and that product is getting a hit, why do I channelize my energy in selling the products that are not getting traction? Maybe because there is MDH, there is catch already in the market. They've captured so much space. Why can't we have a niche market space, right, for ourselves? Because
But
I know
like,
you're good at it. Yeah, sorry.
sorry
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
Like during winter, amla is there in high demand. Like I'm making amla candies,
Okay.
but my regular consumers, my regular customers, someone is asking for amla candy with honey, someone is asking for amla candy with jaggery, and someone is asking for amla candy with sugar. Means how many products I can make? Like,
You don't have to, right? You stick to what you're good at. One, right? You don't change, right? With that, I might, I again, if I go back to Maruti, right? If they want to probably put 6 airbags, their cost will go high, right? So they don't. So it's like, I will put it in the niche market if I want to enter there, or I stick to the product that I have, and I, again circle back with my customers, only the regular set of customers. Or maybe if I have scope or bandwidth and of course resources, then I define a new product, ideate with a lot of people, right? That okay, will this fly? Start with your home, friends, colleagues, and then move to a prototype. Build a prototype and then sell it. But I don't think that you have to enter every market, because then you lose your business. Sorry, we've got few more hands raised. We'll take those and of course cover this slide as well. Yeah. Whoever wants to, Sonika.
Yeah, so I am into services. So basically, a platform is getting built to serve other startups.
Yeah, the
And
working professional women's, right?
yeah, so
Women.
this is
Yeah, go ahead.
for women empowerment and upliftment. Women who doesn't get job after a long break due to maternity or parental leaves, they can join the Tester Mom community, learn software testing, and
Yeah.
contribute in testing the digital assets of startups.
Okay.
Uh, okay, so I get a lot of traction from the women side. So one of my funnel is filled anytime.
Hmm.
But the other side, when I ask startups what are their real challenges, the answers which I've got are that they're looking for funding, the technology is a challenge. So I got very less percentage of traction from the startups, that we are really looking for something where we can get a real time feedback from our end users. The Tester Mom
Hmm.
community can act as a real time end users for their products if they match. So how should I promote Testimom platform so that I get traction from the startups, and at the same time when I have good number of women who are willing to work, to cater the work to them, the funnel should get connected and should be flowing seamlessly throughout.
Okay. So what I see, if I'm a startup, right, and you're having those meetings with the startups, I believe.
Yes,
Okay.
so
And are you
I
capturing their
receive.
demand, and do you talk about their forecast for next quarter?
Yeah, so little challenges with the cost actually.
Okay.
So the startups don't have enough fund to spend
Yeah, yeah,
on
which is
testing.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
see, what I see, your problem pitch is you have one side of the funnel where a lot of people are ready to work, but there are not many people who are actually willing to take them, right?
mhm.
So, and of course, this is a bad problem to have. It should be the other way around. A lot of people ready to hire from you, and then less people. But I think you've stuck to one part of it, which is software testing. I believe that's your core. That's where you're coming from, or
Correct.
that only software testing. Why not? We can start with some easy work, which is admin, right? Women who've gone for a break, maybe have lost their technology bit of it. Maybe project management, program management, or coordination, right? Program coordination could be the easiest job. All women in the world are the best project managers than any other man, right?
Agree.
And I can say that, right? So, looking at my mom, my wife, and people around me, and look at the wonderful women on this call.
Uh,
So, why not we start with smaller roles, and the roles which are easier to fill in. That will help you to generate a little bit of income and get traction with those startups. And
mhm.
when you have those tractions, you can build on those conversations. Say, "Oh, I've got people who can do software testing." and start plugging those in rather than, just trying to force what you have. This is again going back to empathizing with your customer needs. You're not actually catering to what your customer needs, but what you have. So this will not fly for sure, right? Because I don't need software testers. And how many software testers do we need as a startup? One or two. That's it. We don't need like plenty of software testers, and they will get it. The young guys of 22, 23, 25, 28 years of young guys and girls, of course, not guys only, but who are willing to stretch hours and do the work, and because it's start of their career and burn the midnight oil. The women who are coming back from a break will have some bit of legacy back home to take care of it, right? That's the mindset of a startup, or probably anyone who is actually trying to employ them from the first. Maybe they're better employees, right, than the freshers. They've got experience, but my idea would be to start with smaller roles. Of course, you can get those people as well easily. Start the funnel first. Once you have a funnel, plug in your actual resource, like actual testers that you want to pitch in. But I think you need to change your strategy a little bit, and then it will fly for sure. Yeah.
Sure, I'll work on that. Thank you for
Yeah,
this.
no problem. Any?
So on that, Aman, couple of other
Yeah.
examples. I know we'll come back to the
Yes.
questions. So there
There are
were a
two more.
couple of
Yeah.
world famous examples. I think the one with Nokia where they didn't want to move to Android when they were
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
high, and then they
Yeah.
didn't read the market and they just fell off, right?
Yeah.
Same goes for Kodak where they didn't want to
Yes.
enter the digital market and they
Yeah.
just the whole printing and all everything gone. Now everybody got a mobile and they just click. So it's reading the market also, as you empathize is really the key to really see how you want to explore and navigate through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent
Absolutely.
point. An excellent examples, Jyoti. Anyone, like we have 15, 14 minutes, but yeah, I see a few hands raised. Go ahead.
Can I go ahead, please?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, I'm developing a platform, just like Momlicious. Nidhi
Mm-hmm.
is into masala selling and homemade
Yeah.
masalas and etc. So I'm trying to create an ecosystem wherein on Zomato or Swiggy you cannot order home cooked meals in your neighborhood. You don't know who's cooking in your neighborhood
Yeah.
as well. So I'm trying to create a platform wherein we can order home cooked meals,
Mm-hmm.
just like we do on Zomato or Swiggy. So my first problem that I'm stuck here is that capturing these areas, the smaller pockets. So I've tried to do the small pilot run to just get through that whether my idea is correct. I'm on the right track. So yes, we developed and we got through some revenue as well, but then yes, I'm trying to empathize on the fact and look into it wherein I can capture a larger market, not just a small area or just a community. Like these days we have in buildings or small communities that some aunties cooking in one building, and she just drops in a WhatsApp message and you say, okay, I like this chicken masala, today's cooking is chicken masala, and then you order chicken masala. So it's like I want that auntie to be marketed across or in her neighborhood kind of. So my whole thing is stuck here when how do I convince that part of it that you have to go to the market and market yourself better.
Granny Vyanjan it is, right?
Yeah, Grahini Venture,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, and you reminded me when I moved to Gurgaon for the first time for a job, right? So there was an auntie which used to cook food. We used to call her that this is what we want to eat. She'll either prepare a dibba or we go there and eat. Okay. And this
Right.
is after 17 years, I'm hearing this. If it took a long time for somebody to actually market that idea and, club it, but it is a brilliant idea, right? However, you need to put in a little bit of ideation, the word that's there on the
Right.
slide.
Right.
Um, Digital marketing is again one. Yeah, I
Correct.
think that doesn't cost much, right? It is, you have to get some hits on the portal, right? Either create a
Correct.
link, website, or go to Instagram. Instagram or Facebook is now costly, right? Putting the ads
Correct.
there, but GMB, Google My Business page, right? You
Right.
you pay some amount to Google or probably to an ad agency. Smaller fees, right? It's not huge, and you
Hmm.
get per click, right? You start getting that. That's easier way to generate some kind of clicks and hits nearby,
Right.
because and focus the areas where people do most of the jobs, right? Well, I think what I know is like a place like Gurgaon, it will be like super hit because it lot of people move in, and you can find those places. I know you are in you're in Roorkee, right? It's in
Yes, I'm
Uttarakhand.
in Roorkee.
So a
Yes,
lot of
exactly.
students are there. IIT
Correct.
Roorkee is there.
Correct.
Just probably target GMB pages of Google there only, where it shows
Okay.
that, people are looking for home cooked food. Students would probably love that. Try and
Right.
get some pamphlets to IIT Roorkee. Do some, probably you need to do some kind of ideation with certain set of people. I know you said you've got some funding, right? If you got some
Yes.
funding, why not use it wisely to certain areas where don't try to cater everybody again,
Yeah.
right?
Correct. Niche. Find your
Because
niche.
exactly, and once you find your niche, which is students for Roorkee, a lot of
Correct.
people go there for Roorkee. Roorkee has a lot of industries as well, I know. So why not,
Yes. Yes.
probably, and people go there for work. So why not,
Correct.
right? Target those. Yeah. So try with that. Of course, due to limited time, right? 1 hour. We do this design thinking workshops for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
With 2 hour sessions with people in the room. We actually let them ideate, create a product, and make them visualize what actually it would look like. From papers, foils, cuttings, we've actually created robots, alarm clocks, I don't know what not. It is again putting your ideas to channel, right? Don't wait for people to tell you. I am actually doing a job for a company. You're actually creating a product, right? So I think you will probably find more avenues than me. You've taken a bigger risk than me. So I am nobody to tell you that how it should be done. But yeah, as a third person, as sitting outside, how I would see to use that service, I can tell you. Yes, one more hand that I see raised. Yes, Arthi.
Hi, Aman. Good afternoon.
Yes,
So, I am into yoga services, yoga related
yes.
services. So, basically,
Padma
physical
Yoga.
fitness, mindfulness, yes, mindfulness, healing practices, and so on.
Yeah.
My challenge is basically it's all about experience, right? And today, I think we are moved on from a face to face setup to an online setup where people are more comfortable using a platform and practicing yoga, but the duality remains the same, that people are looking at both avenues to actually maximize their experience. So in this regard, how do you suggest that I should put across my energy in terms of investing in a digital platform, or should I invest in a physical studio setup in the city where I live in? So what is your take on that?
Okay. Again, two options for that. Again, if you have the money, you can build in a studio or probably tie up with an existing gym or probably a physical fitness center. Go there and maybe you can take their space, rent their space, and why not? Why to invest a lot of money into a studio? Rent their space for a few hours. You don't need the studio for full hour. Nobody does yoga or any other physical fitness for 24 hours, right? So rent the space for like morning
But
3 hours,
we also
evening.
do we do a lot of trainings, teacher training programs,
Yeah, yeah.
workshops, webinars during the day.
Yeah. Okay, then rent it for 12 hours, right? Whatever suits you, and if you have the budget, and then do, of course, online sessions as well. I think you're doing it, or you should be, right? Because this is the go-to thing today. Start with some specialized yogas, right? A new kind of. I know it is there. Hospitals are actually tied up with hospitals, of course. Prenatal yoga and yogas, right? They're actually selling it big time. They charge like a bomb because people want their babies to be healthy. And I've been a father to a 2 month old, so I know all these things now, right? Maybe I didn't know a few months ago, a few years ago, but yeah, these are. I think again, as Jyotish said, find your niche, right? If you have the budget, invest. Don't invest in a studio, right, to start with, right? If even if you have lots of money, because it's a ever changing
So
market, right?
yeah, it's
Probably
a
rent a
changing
place. Yeah, exactly. But yoga will not go out of fashion unless you've got like really good trainers, really good people who are supporting you. I think go ahead with that, right? That's the idea. Um, Try and implement those ideas. Implementation is another word, and this is kind of a prototype that you're creating for yourself. Rent a space or probably find a space in your house where you can do it if you have open space, right? test it on your set of people. Give some trial classes to your friends, and once you do that, that'll be like excellent. Get a feedback from your customer. Again, empathize what they would want you to change. Don't go with what you know now. Market doesn't let you float that way, right? I have one more hand raised because we have last 5 minutes. Chandni, I believe it is you. Yeah, go ahead.
Aman, can I just ask you one more
Yeah,
question?
please. Yes.
So recently I've been into collaborating with some studios, and I feel
Yes.
there is some amount of benefit with that as well, rather than me venturing, going out
Exactly.
completely on.
Yeah. Get a name for
So
yourself. Make a brand of yourself. Create a Facebook or Instagram page, right? And show your tie-ups there. Take some classes right over the weekend. Tie up with corporates. That's the best way to earn money. They don't, they care about their employees' CSR activities and a lot of other things. So try with that. Then, if you have a lot of money, open a studio. All right. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Yes. The last one. If you can take, yeah, more, we will. Go ahead.
Again, I think since I have not started out yet, uh,
Yes.
how can I use your experience and design thinking, for example, as an unfair advantage to eliminate some of the mistakes that the others may have made in their businesses? And I'm talking about my particular line of
Yeah.
work,
Cafes.
restaurant, not a cafe.
Yeah. Restaurant. Oh, okay. So, so technically, what we do as consultants, Chandni, is go back to our clients again and again and again, right? Even if we lose a deal, we again go back to a client and say, what did we do wrong, right? In terms of what did the other people doing innovatively, and we adapt quickly. I know Eva is a big brand, big hands, so many hands, big money, right? So they can do that, right? Because they're already established in the market. As a small player or a startup, right? And design thinking, of course, I think you can also connect with Jyoti on LinkedIn. She's got brilliant ideas, right? She's an excellent trainer for design thinking as well for EY. We can help you, right, offline as well, if in case the time permits. And I don't know we are allowed to do that or not. But design thinking, yes, we can.
Couple of
Not,
yeah, I mean, couple of
yeah,
examples can be benchmarking a little
yes,
bit, go doing a bit of market research also to see where the trend is going. So it's a mix of really empathizing, seeing, looking at the market, what is the requirement, what is really working well, what is it that is not working well. I'm sure Google has a lot of lessons learned, in case you want
yeah.
to really get to a little bit more on what worked, what does it didn't work. So it's that bit of extra where you get to know what's going on or what has happened in the past, what has worked well, what hasn't, and then benchmarking. Mix of all of this, I think, is going to be has to be considered before really you put together your thoughts.
One more into process. There is a library as well, right? For we call it as periodic table. If you Google it, it's available on the Google, right, Jyoti? Periodic table for design thinking.
Just need to check. I think should be,
Yeah,
yeah, but
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, it should be. And then there's one more technique. It's called interviewing. Visit as many as good restaurants and show them interest that you're opening it up, and then they will help you out because people are more than happy to talk about their success, right? That how did they become a success rather than and of course what problems did they face, what are the failures that they've encountered. Interview those people, you know because they will give you the real lessons than probably I talking here on a call, right? I think that's the best way you can do. So market
And I
research,
just
benchmarking, interview. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just Googled, there's a lot available. If you
There's a
just
Lot
lot
type
available.
on the
design
periodic
thinking
table.
periodic table,
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of methods, structures that you can use
Yeah.
for um, each of the
And I think
phases.
you come from a corporate background, Tani, GA, right? So I think Google comes to us naturally, right? Even before we ask something to our moms now, we Google it, right? So it's like that way. So yeah, Yeah. Any other? I know we're at the top of the hour. 1 minute left. Anyone who wants to make a comment?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. It was a
Yeah.
great input.
Yeah.
And if we could get the
Great.
LinkedIn profiles and we can connect over LinkedIn,
You
that would be
can
great.
reach out to Women Innovator. I think they have my profile. If
Yeah, I
not,
think Harshita would
yeah.
do that.
I couldn't
Yeah,
find
Ashita.
Jyoti though. I have already connected with you, Aman, but
Oh, if you have, I'll accept it, and you'll find Jyoti in my contacts then.
all right, cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
No
much,
problem.
Aman and
Yeah.
Jyoti.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Jyoti.
Thanks a lot.
Great session, and I think it helped all of our incubatees a lot. And regarding the LinkedIn profile and your email IDs, I will share with them. I'll get in touch with Nimish for that.
Yes, please.
So
Yeah.
I'll share
I
with
think
them.
we should go by a legal process, right? We let
Right.
EY send it to you guys. That's better, unless you or I
Right.
get into trouble. That how did this go out? But good session. I know again, as I said in the beginning, less time, more of you can. It's just a concept, but if you Google it, spend more time on it, read through the case studies. That'll do a very very good for your business. And good luck. You guys are
Good luck.
doing excellent, amazing. I have gone through the profile. That's why I remember the names. That's why I remember the business that you do. I've been associated with Women Innovator since 1 year now. I was not part of the interview panel, but I have been in the background doing program management for all this that is happening. Right. So good job to all of you. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Aman.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for the
Thank you for your
No
time.
problem.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Aman.
Thank you, Harshita,
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
for
Bye.
organizing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.